Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I'm your host, Justin D. Morgan. And yes, you've gone through 3 intro songs according to Joe's official count. 3 little intro songs. Joe says now if Justin sings, it's music number 4. I don't have a song for you tonight right now. But I do have greetings for who's in the chat. We have Hardware Hacker. Hi, Hardware Hacker. More IIsigh shenanigans. Yes. We have Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Hi, Dave. We have Callan. Hi, Callan. We have Francois. Hi, Francois. We have SadMac356. Hi, SadMac. We have, yes, Joe's Computer Museum. Hi, Joe. We have, hi, Jesse, i8386SX. And we've got Bill Lewis. I do sing, but I don't have a song tonight because this computer's crummy. I'd probably be singing the crummy computer song. Hi, Gutbomb. We have Gutbomb. I'm already sighing. Yes. All right. And we have the coffee goal. Link is in the description. And we have the IIsi on the table, or the workbench, or the conductive object, whatever you want to call it. Because there are no potential... Well, actually, this is the potential regret. It's already had its animation on another stream. So we go straight on to the trying to get the potential regret working. And before we go too far, we are going to make sure this potential regret is doing what this note says. Because this is IIsigh number 4. And it says chime with immediate SadMac. So let's make sure we are still seeing the same behavior, or rather hearing. And as you heard, we are good. This computer has not decided to be worse. Because that is indeed what it's doing still. We have Socket Wrench. Hi, Socket Wrench. The S in IIsi is for sad. Now, because I valued on-time delivery more than Amazon, I ordered some items from Amazon. We have a USB to serial adapter. And we have a serial cable. Now, we shall see if I ordered wisely. So I splurged and I paid extra for the FTDI chipset version of this adapter because, quite honestly, I think the FTDI serial adapters are fairly reliable. I mean, there's a lot of reliable USB to serial chips, but I do like the FTDI ones. Can't say that on this stream, Gutbomb. We keep it family friendly. But, yeah, Gutbomb says lol. Yes, we'll just have to view the chat on that one. Alright, so we got the USB to serial adapter. So let's plug this in, because if this doesn't badoop and then bajangle, when Windows installs drivers, then we have a big problem. All right. I think that was... We had the Badoop and the Bajangle. And... Do we have another Bajangle? Any day now, Windows. You can do it. You will give us drivers. I know they are on Windows Update. Don't you dare give me the dialog box I don't want to see. Feel free to let us know the drivers are installed anytime now. Like now? Or now? Or watch me find out that the FTDI serial drivers won't install while OBS is running. Wouldn't that be funny? Kind of surprised Windows hasn't told us the drivers are installed yet. Yes, this is just-in-time drivers. All right, well, while we wait for Windows to confirm the drivers are installed, because the only box I saw was we're installing drivers. Well, I guess I'm going to... okay, there we go! Device is ready. All right. That took long enough, Windows. All right, let me go to Device Manager here so I can see what serial port the serial driver, the serial doodad is on. We are on COM6. All right. We are on COM6. So we have COM6. All right, I'm fairly sure I have PuTTY installed on this computer. Yes, I do. All right. PuTTY will be the way I will connect the serial port. And the other thing, because I did not feel like ruining a perfectly good serial cable when a Capcom says, hey, I have the same serial adapter cable. So I bought this, and good. All right, we are good. These two will fit together. But first, we need to figure out which pin is which, because, of course, the product package has no pinout on it. Why would they give us a pinout? Of course, we have to find the pinout for ourselves. And I also have to look up the pinout for a serial cable so that I know which pins I need to solder to which pads on this board. All right, let's see here. Does the Amazon listing... Oh, here we go. The Amazon listing has a color code. So apparently, I think I need pins 2 and 3. For some reason, pins 2 and 3 stick out. Pin 2 is brown, and pin 3 is red. And then I'm also going to need to look up the pinout of a serial port, because I also need the common wire. All right, so... All right, so pin 2 is receive, pin 3 is transmit, and pin 5 is common. So I need yellow, because, yeah, of course. So yellow is common, and red is pin 3. And brown is pin 2. And I'm making some notes for myself. Pin 2 is receive. And pin 3 is transmit. All right. Very good. Yes, pins 2 and 3 are standard. SadMac's asking, but do we know if the USB to serial is a null modem? It is not going to be a null modem if it is constructed correctly. Therefore, I am probably going to have to cross over the pins myself. Now, the other question is, you're probably wondering, wait a minute, you're mentioning soldering. What in the Bowmark schematics are you going to be soldering to? It's actually a good question. All right. So, if you've ever seen a Macintosh board of the old era, you probably will have noticed that there's usually some sort of a edge connector on the board in some spot, especially on these older boards. This is I think this was for factory test, but on the IIsi, there are voltages on some of these pins, but I think, I'm going to look it up on the schematics to be sure, but I want to say that one of these last 2 pins here is serial transmit and receive, which tells me Apple very likely used these diagnostics in factory test. The fact that transmit and receive are routed to that internal pad. So instead of trying to make a very hard to solder adapter, I'm just going to solder the ends of the wires we need to the pads there, because I was going to retin them anyways, because they look kind of crusty. So I was going to retin them anyways, so I might as well just use them, and then when I desolder them, I can make the solder look all nice and pretty. All right, so I do have to find the page on the schematics where those pads are enumerated. And if you've ever looked at the IIsi Bowmark schematics, or any of them for that matter, well, they're sideways. All right, so if you'll bear with me one moment while I try to find trying to remember how they're enumerated. Yeah, Sadmax says, "Oh yeah, Justin, I was just watching Adrian Black do this using the serial port in SE30. Turns out the tech step seems to work over serial." Yeah, I think the tech step is basically a glorified serial terminal. I'm not saying that it doesn't run code to tell it how to run the tests on each computer, and that's not to say that it might not be using the custom code capability to do some of its testing, but yeah, the tech step is most certainly just tapping into the same diagnostic mode. I would find it extremely unbelievable that Apple would have put 2 different diagnostic interfaces in the ROM. All right. I'm still looking on the schematic. I don't remember where on the schematic those pads are listed. I think they're kind of off to the side. Monitor port. TV. They were on like the first or the last page. All right, so that's the power supply. Oh, that's the power supply module. All right, let's look again. I've obviously overlooked it. So, is there like a J? I think that's J19. All right, let me look again, and I'm going to try to look carefully for references to J19. Because that might be how it's designated. There's J9. Oh, that J9 is the fan. See, J14's hard drive. J1 is... Oh, Apple Desktop Bus. All right. Maybe the reason I can't find it is because it's down, it's mentioned down on the same page of the schematic as the modem serial port, because I think that's where the diagnostic mode connects to. Let's see here. There's the 75-175, J5 and J6. Oh, here we go. It's on the next page over. There we go, J19. It is on page 5 of the PDF, listed as sheet 3. And it looks like receive positive is on pin 3 of J19. All right, so receive positive is pin 3. Receive negative is going to be pin 4. And let's see here, pin 2 is going to be transmit negative. And pin 1 is transmit positive. All right. Oh, and I think pin 10, 10 and 11 are ground. And I need to figure out which one is... Actually, that one will probably work for the common wire, I think. I'm looking at the symbols now for the power rails, which I think are on the power supply page. No, okay, I think that's what I want. All right. So I think what I want to do is I think I want to connect transmit on my serial cable, which is pin 3, to receive on the Mac IIsi, which is also pin 3 for receive plus. And then pin 2 on the serial cable, I want to connect to pin 1, I believe. Ah, yes. And that's going to be these first 4 pins over here. Because there's pin 1 right there, because that's pin 15. So I'm going to connect the receive from the serial cable to transmit there on pin 1. Receive here on the Mac to transmit on the serial cable. And then I'm going to attach the common wire to pin 10. In fact, I'll probably tack the I'll tack the shield wire to pin to one of those ground pins as well. All right. So, just now, hopefully this will work because I'm presuming I need to use transmit positive and transmit negative, or transmit positive and receive positive, since I'm not using a differential cable. I've been told I can use a standard serial cable. We could. This experiment could end quickly. All right. So what I'm going to do is, all right. So the brown wires receive. So I'm going to solder that to transmit. Just pin 1. There's going to be that one right there. Somehow. What are the chances that these little barrels will fit in the serial connector? Let me check something here. Oh, no. The chances those are going to plug in are non-existent. Okay, that would have been funny. Okay. The only problem with this approach is this isn't very scalable. So I think what I'm going to do to make this a little easier is I'm going to go ahead and put some solder on the 4 pads I need to use. So that's going to be 1, 3, 10, and 11. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So brown is receive on the PC side. So I am going to connect it to transmit on the Mac side, like so. It tells me this is solder that well. Something tells me this is not going to solder well, and I'm going to end up rigging up some cable and try one of these other pins that is closer to me. And yellow, common. If these two touch, because they're both ground points. Double check I've got continuity. All right. And so now brown and red, and for the rest of these, I'm going to all right. You don't want to permanently insulate the other wires of your serial cable in case you need to use them for something else, but you don't want them shorting USB to serial adapter. There we go. All right, so the red one needs to go to pin 3. I believe red is transmit. Yep. Basically, I'm connecting these backwards because I'm fairly sure that all right, there we go. It does not look pretty, but should be functional. All right, so let's go ahead and power. All right, first I'm going to make sure it powers up without the cable plugged in. Beautiful. Now I'm going to plug the serial cable in. All right. This is the part, once I get PuTTY set up, I will... Okay. So it is COM6. All right. I have the web page open on my phone here. Oh, thank you to Hardware Hacker! And I have the wrong thing showing on my screen. Eep! Thank you, Hardware Hacker, for that $2 tip. That is totally fine. Thank you. Even $2 helps with the goal. I totally understand, so don't worry. All right, so quick start guide for the SE30. I'm fairly sure the SE or the 2SI is probably very similar. And 9600 baud. All right, that's good. That's actually all right. So that's 9600 baud, 8 data bits, 2 stop bits. Okay, that's 8 data bits, no parity, 2 stop bits, and I'm going to say probably no flow control. All right, we have a PuTTY window. Let me see if I can change the font. Full screen. Oh no, that's all right. Let's try that again. All right. Full screen was not what I wanted. I wanted to change the font. PuTTY. All right, PuTTY. Let me set that up again. Serial. COM6. 9608. None 2. None. And let's see, window appearance. Window. When Windows resized, change the size of the font. Thank you. There we go. All right, so now if I change the there we go. All right, so now if I screen share, we have a PuTTY window. All right, and all right, 3, 2, 1. Uh, well, that's not exactly what I was expecting to see. All right, all right. Plans and tests. I thought it printed a banner, so I guess I do need to do a star A. This is not looking star S. All right. Oh, hi, Raza. Welcome. Oh, Thomas says, sorry to hockey game, no sound. How's the 2SI? Well, I'm trying to get diagnostic mode to run. Reza, sorry. Says you have to type a command unless it's in service mode. It won't show anything by default. Well, I am somewhat concerned by the fact I'm seeing garbage characters. All right. Can I just like star R? Capcom says the garbage characters look promising to me. It looks like you're close. I tried a star A, Sad Mac. Star A. I just did a star A, and that's what happens. Am I maybe not in diagnostic mode? Reza says Star 5 starts printing the service banner repeatedly. You can at least see if it's interpreting commands right. All right. Star 5. No. Is. All right. Change settings. So I'm checking my PuTTY session. Or my PuTTY terminal. The keyboard. Oh, that should be fun. All right. Bell features. Where's the session? I'm looking to see what terminal emulation mode it's using. Bell features. Uh, Hi, newer ham radio Elmer. Welcome. Option R or Option Shift Command R. Oh, that would require me to connect the keyboard. I was hoping to not have to connect the keyboard. Should I maybe have connected the transmit negative and receive negative? All right, let me. All right. All right. So, oh. Nope, that's not it, Gut Bomb. And yes, I was using uppercase. That's not it. That's not it. This is what happens when you assume that it would have to be transmit positive and receive positive. According to some random web page I found, which I think's been around long enough to probably be accurate, I actually need to use transmit negative and receive negative. At least I didn't blow up my serial adapter. All right. What you didn't see, but I promise you I did, I just very quickly, without remembering to switch where my camera source was, the transmit and receive. Okay. All right. Okay. Luckily, I think serial is fairly forgiving. All right, so let's try that again. See here, USB. All right, and okay. Star A. I didn't see it echo. No, I don't really have that handy, gut bomb, because that has too many tabs to follow. Okay, so now I should have transmit negative to receive think. All right, but I didn't see anything echo on the screen. Star 5. Star A. We are not echoing anything. Reza says you may need to ground receive. I am very leery of grounding random things like that. Oh, you okay? But I do need to. Oh, but okay. This webpage that I found is confirming that you do have to link that to ground for an RS-232 device. Why does this have to be so hard? All right. I really am feeling less confident that I'm going to not blow something up now that I have to connect the pin to ground. All right. Receive positive is pin 3. You know, I would almost just rather do this on the actual port on the back of the Mac itself. All right. Pin 8 is that one. We are on the I'm doing this on the back of the Mac because I don't want to accidentally short the. Oh wait, no, I want pin 7. That's receive data plus, and I'm going to make sure I got the right 2 points. Okay. That should be connected to that. Oh. Modem port. Wait a minute. Receive. Oh, no, I receive positive. Receive positive is on pin 7. It's on pin 3 of this. Oh, that's not pin 7. That's. Wait a minute. All right, hold please while I. No, I want. No, it is pin 8. I want receive data, pin 8 to ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So pin 8 needs to connect to pin 4. There we go. Got it. All right, so this should now be connected to that. Wait a minute. Hold on. Receive negative Okay, so pin 4 should be connected to ground. Hold on, I'm having trouble here. So pin 1 is transmit plus. Wait a minute. Did I accidentally connect these to ground, maybe? Oh. Oh, well, there's part of the problem. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I've got... Hold on. You can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so these are ground. Okay, the pin 4... Hold on. Did I just buy the highest quality cable on Amazon that had the wrong pinout on the product page? All right, so pin 2, that should be pin 2. So pin 2 is ground. All right. Okay. Pin 3. Okay. And then pin 4, pin 4 is a signal ground. Oh, wait a minute. That might be the other problem. Pin 4 is orange. What's pin 5? Pin 4. Hold on. So according to this diagram I found, pin 5 is common. But according to this Macintosh... Oh, no, wait. No, that's... never mind. Yeah, we're right. Okay, so pin 4 should be a ground. Pin 8 should be receive positive. Pin 8 on the modem port should be receive positive, which should be pin 3 on the... Oh, maybe is that pin 8? No, that's not pin 8. Is that pin 8? Or maybe this jumper wire I'm inserting isn't making good connection? Oh. Oh, okay. I think... Alright, so I'm going to have to jumper it on the motherboard side or something. Because there's like a 47 ohm... Oh, wait, no, that's probably fine. That's probably fine. That's probably fine. All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. There we go. I think I figured that out. I have no idea what I'm doing. I think I've got it jumpered so that it should use RS-232 now. All right. All right. Can I paste? Well, I can't. There you go, got bomb. Okay, all right. I am still not seeing. Okay, so star, or that's wrong key. Star A. Jesse says gibberish usually indicates comm speed is off. That gibberish is old when I had the serial ports connected to the wrong pin. I am. Did I red? The red is connected to pin 2. So pin 3 is transmit on the serial PC serial side, and that should be connected to red is transmit. Oh, and it's connected to pin 4, which is receive minus. And then brown is pin 2, and it's connected to pin 2. Yeah. I just didn't clear the buffer because I don't know how to. 6 PuTTY. Um. All right. Let me check something here. Okay, so I don't have caps lock on, and my keyboard is working. So star A. Okay, let's double check. PuTTY settings. Serial. 9600. 8. 2. No parity. And no flow control. Pin 2 receives pin. Yeah, pin 2 on the serial on the PC side is receive. and it's connected to pin 2 on the diagnostic connector, which is transmit. And it's the brown wire. Jesse, that's what the documentation says to do. I think it's completely bogus as well, but the documentation clearly says 2 stop bits, no parity. That's even industrial equipment doesn't usually use 2 stop bits. At least not modern industrial equipment with serial ports. I am it. You are supposed to see an echo if it works, and I am not seeing. Elmer, I don't. So, yeah, receive. So pin 2 on the serial cable is receive. So the pin 2, my USB serial adapter is not a crossover adapter that I'm aware of. Of course, now someone's probably going to say, well, why don't you go get a null modem adapter? And yeah, I'm trying to remember where the closest one is. But you have to cross over transmit to receive. Because a receiver can't receive data, and a transmitter, well, yeah, transmitter won't receive data, and a receiver won't transmit data. So I did the crossover, and the complex thing is I've got to translate from the port on the back of the Mac to the diagnostic card edge. But pin 2 on the card edge, the diagnostic card edge, is transmit negative, and I got to connect that to. I mean, I guess it's possible that. I don't know. Let me go. Yeah, DB9 serial port pin 2 is receive. Yes. And to DB to the serial port, pin 3 is transmit, pin 5 is signal ground. Now, okay, I've got 2 different pin 2s and 2 different pin 3s, and this is so pin 2 on my 9-pin serial cable is receive and is connected to the transmit on the Mac. Pin 3 on my 9-pin serial cable is transmit. It's connected to receive on the Mac. Um, I'm not using a Max 232. I don't. Where's these the pads on the diagnostic connector are connected to the same pins on the serial port, or at least they're supposed to be according to the schematic. I'm somehow doubting that's actually correct. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. I found it. So the pads I should be connecting to are the pins coming out of a 75-175, which is going to be a a TTL to RS4. um I don't want to say because then someone will. I think it's a RS232 RS422 to TTL adapter chip. Hardware hacker says it could be that it isn't working because the logic board is cooked. Well, I don't understand how it's. Well, I mean, I guess that is true. If you get a sad Mac, the diagnostic mode is supposed to be running. I guess it's possible this board's so cooked that. Let me go get a null modem adapter in case one of the sides of the documentation has been next level clever and added a crossover where one doesn't exist. All right, gotta find a. I don't know what the H was supposed to be because I had it connected to the wrong pin. Okay, I don't know where my no modem adapter went, so we're just gonna have to ignore the idea and. Hey Tim, welcome. We have Vborg in the chat. I don't know. All right. I don't know why it's not working. It seemed like it was working earlier. Now it's not working. I guess we'll. I'm powering it down. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute without power and. All right. So I know the red is transmit. What red wires transmit? All right. Well, let's double check the wiring. Misty says I would step away from this for a few. Well, I told Gutbomb I would get one of these working, so I can't step away from. I also have only one serial cable. And I'm afraid I'm gonna lose pads if I desolder and solder these too many more times. Okay, so pin 2. So this is pin 1 on the far right. Pin 2 is transmit minus. That is connected to the brown wire, which is connected to pin 2 on the 9-pin serial, which is receive. Pin 4 on the diagnostic connector is receive. It's connected to pin 3 on the serial cable, which is the red wire, which is transmit. So that should be correct. Now, the one thing you don't see here, because I couldn't get it to solder, and maybe I will try one last time to try to get it to solder, is there needs to be a jumper between receive positive, which is on pin 3, and ground. And I tried to do it on the serial port side. Maybe there's something wrong with that. I will see if I can, any possibly way, get this to solder. This is the modem port, Gutbomb. These pads are on the modem port. You can look at the Beaumark schematics. They are clearly on the modem port. You can double check that I read them right. I would appreciate someone to double check that I read it right. Because I am live streaming and therefore prone to making errors of reading it wrong. Okay. Well, I don't have the shield connected anymore, but whatever. Okay. So now I've got a jumper where that should put it in RS-232 mode. Maybe there's something wrong with the modem port, and that jumper wasn't working. All right. Okay. Star A. Oh, hold on. Star A. Star 5. Jesse says, if it makes you feel better, my evening turned into an explosive comedy of errors, too. All right. We'll see you later, Tim. Yeah, I don't think we're, I mean, unless my USB to serial adapter is, or PuTTY has just decided to, like, all right. I will, all right. I'll try restarting PuTTY. All right. I'm 6. All right. 9600, 8, 2, none, none. Oh, don't tell me that was PuTTY being a jerk. PuTTY! Apparently, PuTTY wanted restarted. Don't ask me when it, like, what exactly it wanted restarted after. Apparently, we are in diagnostic mode. And I guess, star A to stop that insanity? No. Oh, star S. We are in diagnostic mode. Um, yeah. Oops. Okay, apparently it doesn't like that command. 11 is a memory sizing error. Well, I don't know why we have a memory sizing error. All right, so I'm gonna star. No, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, star 4. Here the result of test, and I'm just gonna start running some commands and see what they do. So, according to this page I'm looking at, which star T 0000, I don't think it likes. Star. All right. Oh, okay. So star T 0000. Okay. Apparently the star T tests don't exist because it's not echoing them. All right. I have no idea what test to start with. All right. Well, I guess I'll. Okay, this is getting annoying. I do not know why it does not like some of my star keys on my keyboard. Can we just run some canned test? I just wanted to run a test. I really don't want to have to like. Oh, okay. Well, according to Adrian's spreadsheet, I should be able to run a size memory. We're getting a size memory error. I'd like to know how much memory it thinks we have. I think that is. Maybe let me just do a star T 0001. That's the data bus test. Star T 0001. Hold on. That okay. Star T 0001. Okay. I don't know why it's sometimes question marking. Star T 0001. I'm not having any success running tests. Well, I don't know why it just SADMAC'd. So let me guess. Star A. Looks like we're back to star 5. Oh, looks like we've oh, maybe it did run. Maybe it ran a test. Maybe it did. Hold on. I'm hearing a noise. Yes, my 2SI is whining. I had to turn the dinosaur off to confirm. Oh, thank you, hardware hacker, for the super chat. Yeep. Which test am I wanting to run? Uh, a test that I don't have to enter 20,000 leagues under the sea to get it to run. I was just trying to run maybe the data bus test. Star T0001. It's kind of annoying it doesn't like echo. Star T0001. Star T0001. Star 5. Then type star R to see the result. Well, I'm having a problem that the star is. For some reason, I'm not always getting the star key. All right, star 4. Okay, I was able to type it that time. Maybe I need to turn on echo. Star T0001. Which you can't see, but it did not echo the star T part. Um. Well, this page here is telling me it's 4 digits. Yeah, I know my banner's covering part of the window. I regret the inconvenience. There we go. Okay. All right. So let me try to paste text. Copy. Paste. I don't get why I can't paste into the terminal. And the reason that's important is because these numbers are so long and I'm live streaming and I cannot remember 20 bazillion digits to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 All right. Star T 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, let me guess. I don't have numlock on. That might be part of maybe star T 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or I'll type into the wrong window. All right. Star T 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Star T 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Star T 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't even think we're. That's supposed to be a size memory test. Test is the first four digits, and the next four digits is the number of passes. Last four is the options, usually zero. Well, this thing that of Adrian says that I need. Okay, this is just I I this is kind of one of those times that it's great of what the parameters mean, but at the moment, if I just can't type in a simple example straight from a web page, then something else is wrong. Star T. Oh, that was in the wrong window. All right. Star T. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Carter Hacker says it's foobar. Well, it might be. I I don't get why the star is not working. So I could do a star V. and I get the version. The t-tests supposedly exist on the Mac test matrix. Oh, they exist on the Macintosh II. Oh, well, that might be part of the problem. Okay, so I looked at the wrong line. All right. So the 2SI supports star 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait a minute. How in the world is someone editing this right now? Reza, are you editing this spreadsheet right as I'm reading it? Okay, so it does support T and N and V and A and I'm I don't know why though it's not taking. Oh, sorry, the 2SI column hadn't been fully filled out yet. Lol. Yeah. Okay, so I don't understand why I cannot type the star key unless my keyboard is like has decided to stop working. I'm almost tempted to turn on a setting in PuTTY to force echo so that I can see what PuTTY thinks I'm typing. I think I'm going to have to do that because all right. Serial, let's see, connection, terminal, features. Features. Somewhere I saw it. It was local, there we go. Local echo force on. All right. Okay. So now hopefully it might be a bit confusing. So let me type the command I know is working. All right. So now I can see what I'm typing. So star T. Okay, that was really confusing because star R. Is there a result? Um, may have put me in hex mode. All right. Star T 00000010001. Error. So I guess it didn't like something. Well, the spreadsheet says. All right. So in the, I thought it was in the in the critical tests. All right, fine. Maybe that one's not working. Okay, so we'll do maybe let's try this other test. So I think this one you have to. Okay, I guess it did the thing. All right, so star T 0001 0001 0001. That should have been a data bus test, but by golly, if it oh, well, that actually looks like there might be a result there. Response will indicate bits in error. Oh, Reza said the error came from the test itself. Can I copy paste? Well, I was having trouble copying and pasting. All right, so copy, paste. Well, that actually maybe did work. It does seem like we have a data bus error. Is that the all 8 of the lower bits are bad? I don't know. That seems really really weird. We'd have that. Did we really have that many data bits in error? And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how to read that. Because if any of the first 8 digits are anything other than 0, that means there was a failure on that bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. So that's bit A. Is that right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A. Okay, now one bit is more believable. Bit A, that's going to be. No, that's going to be 2 bits. It's going to be bits 2 and 8. Or I guess 0 or 1 and 3. depending on how you're thinking of it. So bits 1 and 3 on the data bus. That's believable. All right, let's run some other tests and see. Make sure there's not like some other problem. All right, and maybe I can copy and paste carefully. All right. Could do a mod 3 RAM test. Oh, actually, let me do an address line test. Let's try that. Address line. Should have known. We have an address line error. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be address line 3. Hmm. Wonder if there's a common place on this board where those are maybe all close together near one of the formerly leaking capacitors. Okay, so maybe we're getting somewhere here now. ROM checksum? Alright, looks like the wrong ROM checksum ran. Okay, and that was size memory I tried to run, so yeah, so I think somewhere we have data bits 1 and 3 and address bit 3 are not connected. Hmm. Here are the wonderful Beaumark schematics. Alright. Alright, so let's pause. Let's see if we can find a spot where address line 3 maybe near a capacitor or something. Alright. I'm gonna look for the processor on the schematic. Well, no. No, it's not gonna be at the processor, because if the address or data lines were broken at the processor, then we wouldn't get a SADMAC, because it wouldn't be able to read the ROMs. However, this I would find maybe more believable. In fact, some of those chips kind of look a bit crusty. Okay, so let's see here. Because if the RAM was broken, I think the hardware diagnostics can run without RAM. So this might be an area of the board that we should inspect. Potentially here, if there's an address or data line coming over to the SCSI chip. Because there's some capacitors that would have been leaking. Let's pull the power supply out. Carefully. All right. And yeah, I'm kind of less likely to blame this area, although this isn't necessarily the best looking. But we were able to use the modem port, which does imply that this chip is working here, because the pads on the front of the board are going through this chip. Has my chat just decided to like stop working? Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this area. This would be my first area of concern, because some of these pins here don't look the greatest. Actually, the pins on that memory chip. That is UI6. Let me see if I can find that on the schematics. Let's see here. UI6 is on. Oh, now here's an interesting question. Were those data bits 1 and 3 and address bit 3 which would be the case if it was an Intel system and little endian. But this is a big endian system, isn't it? So that would have actually made that address bit 28 and 30. And that would have made it a data lines 28 and 30 and address line 28. Because this is a big endian system. Boy, was that because look at those pins there. I'm not saying that that's the problem, but I can tell you, just looking at the board, without magnification, that those 4 pins look worse than the other RAM pins. Hold, please. Oh, ooh. Ew. Look at that. That looks gross. Now, question is, what are those pins? Those pins? Ah. Does anyone want to take a guess what that first pin is? Anyone? Jesse says that thing is jacked up. Yeah. Um, Sadback says, I'm going to guess that's a data line. Yes, I believe that is a data line. But does anyone want to take a guess at which data line it is? I'll give you a hint. It's 28. Yeah, that looks... That, yeah, I think that might be the broken one. So I think I'm going to have to... Alright, so let me grab another IIsi board. One that is not in a case. Because I'd like to try to figure out... Jesse says an important one. Actually, I wonder if maybe that just needs to be reflowed. Oh, reflowing that would be easy. I could reflow... Oh, I got another idea. Okay. I think this may be one of our 2 address lines that's bad. Or data lines that's bad. Alright, so if I'm reading this schematic correctly, this pin here... Let me zoom in just a little bit more. I don't want to get too greedy, though. Alright, so that pin there should be connected to the 74 ALS 245 at UH5, which I believe is the one right near it. And that should be connected to pin 6. And yeah, pin 6. If I'm reading this right. So pin 6 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so we do have a connection between the pads. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. Kind of high resistance. Okay. So we do have a connection between that pin and that memory chip. Now, if I get on the pin... Hi, Jack. Welcome. And it looks like there is a connection. Okay. Although that still looks pretty crusty. But there is a connection there. Now, the other pin 18 and 19. So, the other one that I thought it was, the other data line that we're having trouble with is this one here. And that is connected to pin 8. And yeah, it does look like there's a connection there too. Hmm. So as much as those pads look gross, we have a connection there. But that doesn't guarantee that the RAM chip is good. Jack says you have like um yeah, I think Jack says you have like 23,423,234 spare 2SI boards to swipe a RAM chip from, right? Yeah, we could swipe a RAM chip, but let's make sure there's not another. Let me make sure I'm actually looking at what I think I'm looking at on the schematic. Okay, so those were the data lines. All right. Let me just double check here. In case I made a mistake, and those were data bits 1 and 3. Let me double check on UF7, which I think is going to be the RAM chip at the complete opposite side. Yeah. And those are going to go to pins 3 and 5. Okay, so oh, that pad looks great. Oh wait, which UE5 pin 3? 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. UF6. Oh, no, hold on. I think I'm looking at the wrong RAM chip. UF7. Oh, UF7 pin 2. Okay. All right, pin 1. 3. I was right the first time. There's our broken trace. There's one of them. And that... Oh, look at that. The capacitor's right there. So we've got a break here. Those two pins should be connected, but are not. So I did. So I had the data bits right the first time, I bet. So data bit 3 is going to be on pin 19 of the DRAM, which I think is... I think this is a 20-pin chip. And that should be going to pin 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jack's asking, what tipped you off to specific data lines being sus? I ran the data line test. And it coughed back 2 data bits. And yeah, the data bus test, T0001, it gave me 2 bits. And after a little bit of it's little Indian, no, it's big Indian, and apparently no, it was little Indian, I got two little broken traces. So yeah, now, so we got the data lines. So sure enough, there is a broken trace between this RAM chip and this chip. So yeah, Joe's like, wow, the diag test actually works. Nice. So now we have an address line issue as well. And I'm highly suspicious that it's going to be in the same area. I don't know what this chip is. So let's look at the schematic again. So here's our DRAM chip. So there's our data bit 1 that we have a broken trace on. And there's our data bit 3 that we have a broken trace on. But we also have address line 3 is having trouble. And let's see here. So that's RAM data. All right, so I don't know where the address lines are, but they're probably down here. Here we go. VGT 8002-6215. So this is going to be the memory controller, or it has a memory controller in it. So let's see if we can find that chip, 8002. There it is. There's our memory controller chip. All right. Address line 3, which we also had trouble with. Although it's possible that it... I don't know. It's on pin 68 of that chip. So I'm going to have to look to see where the address line also connects. But let's figure out where pin 68 is. Oh, Reza says the address line test runs size memory. So if that isn't working, the address line test might not work. Okay. So maybe we should try to fix those two broken traces first. But I did at least want to see where address line 3 is going to this chip. And it's going to be on pin 68. Which looks okay. Okay. So before I pull this board out of the case, because unfortunately this is going to complicate things, probably going to have to desolder it. Let me go grab another 2SI board that is not in a case, and let's see if we can figure out where the traces run, where the vias are. I'm kind of half tempted to just bodge a quick wire from this side of this chip to the pad for the memory, because I can do that on the top side without removing the serial cable. But let's see where the vias are, if any. So I can figure out how hard would it be to patch quickly, and or maybe do it properly. Let me go grab a random 2SI board. Okay. I would be tempted to run diagnostic mode on these two boards. That I'm about to show you. In the hopes that maybe the audio circuit's borked. Oh yeah, but this board here is was a parts donor that was all for naught. It also has a broken modem port, because that's a broken pin on that resistor pack. Although the card edge might work, but it's not going to do anything without those. Well, you might do a quick bodge, but I'm not really keen on surface mount bodges. All right, so I'm trying to figure out where I know this is a mess. Okay, so data bit 2 or data bit 1 is on pin 3 of that ALS. So it's going to be on pin 3, which runs we're not going to be able to see anything. Put that flux on the board. Let me clean that flux off. All right. I don't know if we haven't discussed whether the memory size works or not on the IIsi. I don't know that but I don't know that our board would work enough for us to even have to consider whether it works or not. The reason why I'm hemming and hawing over just bodging it is it is 11:22, and I would like to at least understand a little more where this is going. All right, so there's the via I was looking for. It's like right there by the silk screen is the via where pin 3 goes under the board. So yeah, I totally that would totally not be visible without removing that chip. Okay. But that comes under the board somewhere here. What would be the chances that I may have to replace those memory that's low melt solder, if anyone's wondering what that is. All right. So yeah, I guess I'm probably going to have to do a quick bodge. It's not like I'd be able to get to that via. All right, data line 3 goes from pin 5 to pin 19. So again, let's see here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, pin 5. So that one skirts right on over. Goes under this chip. And I bet the via's under this chip. All right, I guess we'll probably just have to do a quick bodge. Now, interestingly enough, on this other board that I was trying to get to work, we did find a broken trace between those two chips. But it still wasn't, I don't think this board was even chiming, so yeah, that's its SCSI controller. Oh wait, one of these boards has some missing components on it in the audio section. Oh yeah, that's this board. Yeah, this board's not going to make any sounds. Okay, let's just do a quick bodge. I guess that's going to be our best bet. All right. In fact, if it works, I'll probably just leave them because these surface mount bodges scare me. I'm afraid I'll bridge two chips that'll cause a rare unobtainium ASIC to go kerbang. All right, I am looking for my blue wire. because it's insulated, so I can. Okay, I don't know where it is. It's on my bench somewhere. I know it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're just going to make two quick bodges. I will try to make them somewhat neat in case I just leave them. All right, so let me make some wires. So, is that a good amount to strip off of it? Yeah, probably. All right, I think I can solder that wire with a low risk of bridging it. So this one bodge needs to come around here. And I'm just going to cut both these wires the same length. All right. Maybe later I will actually put a better bodge. Maybe this 2SI will just have to live with an infamous bodge for the rest of its computing days because they're crummy. Thomas Armstrong says bodge is stylish. Well, would someone please tell my LC475 that bodges are stylish? And that it should be happy to wear a bodge wire. I asked the Tinker Different Discord about what might be causing the problem with the LC475, and well, I don't know that anyone had seen this set of symptoms I'm seeing on it before. So, all right, so I need pins 2 and 5, and that goes to. Oh no, pin 3. No, pin 3. Oh well, I have a little extra flex here. Pin 3, pin 3 and 5 because it's pin 2 and 19. Pin 2 and pin 19. All right. I think the way I'm going to do this is I think I will add a little blob of solder to the RAM pads. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to make sure I have not shorted the pins beside them together. Actually, I'll tack my wires first, then I'll check. All right. pin 19 first. Check for shorts. Helps when you don't touch your. I did I did bridge some pins there. Add some flux. And there we go. I think that cleared the bridge. I hope. Okay, there we go. So pin 19 on the RAM chip is data line 3, and that should be connected to 245 pin 5. All right. Let me add just a little bit of solder to pin 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fortunately, I'm smelling fish as I soldered the board in this area. I'm having trouble getting the wire to stick on pin 5. Maybe I'll just have to. One, two. All right. Well, maybe we're just gonna have to tack the wire. do the top of the pin. Like right there. Okay, I don't think I created any shorts there. Let me make sure that's pin 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Yep. Pin 19 of the RAM to pin 5. All right. So now I got to get pin 2 of the DRAM. All right. Well, that's pin 2. All right. And that needs to come to pin 3. I'm probably going to have to also tack as such. All right. So now, do I have pin 2? All right. I'm not shorted together, am I? No. All right. That is the most fragile of a bodge. Okay. Place your bets. All right. 3, 2, 1. Well, hey, lazy bite boy, welcome. Well, all right. Okay, we are running ROM version. Oops. Mean to bring those up. The wrong web browser window. Whoop. Fun fact, that page on the schematic looks just like a Google Sheet. Alright, so let's run the data bus test. And that is like way more. Yeah, that's we still have that address line bit, but now we have. Alright, so this is the data line test. Those are way more. That's a lot of data lines that it says are in error. So either I misread the schematic, or there's a. Hi, Alexander, welcome. Yeah, there's more way more broken stuff. There's that says maybe the bow mark is wrong and you've bodged the wrong things together. Well, that's not a problem for tonight. I mean, yeah, that is entirely possible that the bow mark schematics are wrong and I just bodged the wrong things together. Just says, or misread the schematic, but I was trying to be diplomatic. I, you're a poet, Joe. Yeah, so it looks like either there's more to this board, or I've bodged the wrong things, and that's kind of where I think the next step will be. I'm going to order another one or two of these serial cables so I can put a serial cable on the other IIsi board that doesn't have a chime, but there could be an audio circuit problem. So it says, don't be dramatic, just use a different tactic. Yeah, I'm thinking what I should probably do, but not tonight, is take another one of my IIsi boards, one that I can, heck, maybe this one that I've, well, not this one, the one I've taken some components off of, so I can actually see the traces. And in fact, maybe I should take the, on one of these, take the RAM chips off, alongside the transceivers. Alexander says, Joe likes to rhyme. He does it all the time. Yes. Maybe on this board, take the RAM chips off along with the transceivers, actually clean up the low melt solder so that you can see all the pads, and then tone out where they're supposed to be connected with nothing there, and see if that matches what I'm reading on the Bowmark schematic. Because that would be one way of verifying that I am correctly reading it. And it's also possible that maybe I've got some bad RAM chips too. Anyways, I think that's probably the next step, is to take a board and take the schematic I have and the board where I can see where the traces are going, and make sure that the schematic and the board, my understanding of the schematic and my understanding of the board, align. Because if I find a mismatch, then that might mean I'm either misreading the schematic. Yes, they're 30 to 40-year-old schematics, but there could still be errors on them. They are hand-drawn. Unlikely, but yeah. So anyways, I think that's where I'm going to leave off for today. So yeah, apparently, oh, I should probably add a note, a second note to this IIsi. So address bus. Um, all right. I just wrote myself a big, long, complicated tape note. Diagnostic suggests data bits 1 and 3, address bit 3, bodged apparent broken traces, and now we have more data bus errors. So stick that to the case. I'll go along with my first note. So there we go. So I've got notes. So next week, Tuesday, we're going to look at MFM drives, because I said we'd look at those Tuesday, and we will look at them Tuesday. That will also give me a chance to order another serial cable or two, so that I can leave serial cables on the boards once I solder them, and that way we can try to run diagnostics on some of these other boards, just in case they are booting far enough to start diagnostics, because they could have audio circuit issues. They could also be dead. So I think I'll order another serial cable or two. That'll let those have a chance to come in. So Tuesday, MFM drives. Thursday, we will continue with the IIsigh and all the 40 bajillion boards I've ordered from eBay, the place where I buy the things I later regret. And maybe one of these days, just one of these days, I will be able to get a IIsi running, so I can then see if it'll run at 25 megahertz bus speed. But obviously, this one is not running that well at all, even at 20 megahertz bus speed. So, well, that's where we're going to stop for tonight. So with that, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know when I go live next. Because YouTube notifications can sometimes work. In fact, it seems like YouTube might have fixed some of their notification issues, because Alexander told me he's getting notifications now. So, yay. And, yeah. Also, and share my channel with a friend. And we will have fun, and eventually I'll have a IIsi that works, because I'm not buying any more IIsis. Four was over my limit, but, well, 2 of them were in a single auction, so, yeah. It was a moment of weakness. I am going to get one of these 4 working somehow, some way. Anyways, yep, I hope to be on your stream at some point, Dave. It will probably be around 3:30 before I can join, but I will try to join once I can around 3:30. Jack says, you'll have only 4? Come on, I have like 7. But eBay sellers want too much for the 2 size. Of course, if I buy enough and make enough live streams that show how crummy they are, maybe eBay sellers will lower their prices. Oh, wait, no, they'll just charge more because, hey, look, this YouTuber is streaming about them all the time. They must be Steve Jobs' rare valuable. Yeah, you can never win. At least when it comes to that. So with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I hope you see you here next time. Thanks for hanging out in the chat, being cool, putting up with me for trying to sort out pin-to-pins on weird connectors. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.